Hi folks, this video is titled My Train of Thought. The reason for that title is we are sticking to the plan. What's the plan? Well, we're going to buy assets cautiously or shrewdly, we're going to pay down our debt reasonably, and we're going to grow our transportation company slowly and steadily. This video is the fourth episode in a series of videos about how to make money starting in 1850. If you haven't watched the previous videos in this series, I would encourage you to do so. So will my train of thought get derailed today? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's by watching this video. Let's get started. Smash that subscribe button below right now and click on the bell so you don't miss out on more great content. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Or just give it a thumbs up for yourself so that you'll always be able to come back and watch it again if you need to. Let's start with a quick recap. On the right, we have the town of Colorado Springs. On the left-hand side, we have the town of Naperville. Between them, we have a passenger train running on a single track. Over here at Colorado Springs, we have a grain farm on the right, a food processing plant on the left, and Colorado Springs, of course, in the middle. And we've got cargo trains supplying the food. So now, generally speaking, you're caught up. For a more comprehensive catch-up, I would suggest you watch the previous episodes of this video series. Well, it's April of 1883. We have about $1.7 million in our bank account, and we're making money. So I think it's high time we started paying off some of our loans. So let's do that now. Click on our account. We're at $8.5 million in debt, so we really got to start working on getting that down. So let's repay $500,000. Now we're down to $8 million in debt. My bank account's actually doing fairly well. I'm bouncing back and I'm making money. So I'm going to pay off another $500,000 on my loans. So we go to account again and repay $500,000. Now we're down to $7.5 million. Well, our bank account took a little bit of a hit there, and we're down because we've paid off some of our loans. But we're down to $7 million in total loans, which is a good step forward. So I'm going to let the game run for a little while, and I'll speed it up. And it's now June of 1883. And we'll come back, and we'll see how we're doing in a little while. So it's now September of 1884. So let's just do a little bit of a status check to see where we are. So I'll click on lines, and we can see that our trains are making a significant amount of money for us. I'm losing a little tiny bit of money on the Colorado bus number 2. I'm not too worried about that at this point because that bus supports the passenger train between Naperville and Colorado Springs. Let's check on the condition of our vehicles. We'll just pull that up. We got a mediocre, some good. Oh, we have some very bad ones, and those are some carriages. And there's a couple more very bad ones. Some bad ones. And I gotta watch the train because they're gonna cost a lot of money to replace. There's a bad one, and there's a bad one. So I have two trains that are in bad condition. So now it's going to be a balancing act between paying off the loans and buying new assets. So I have $2.1 million in my bank account, give or take. So maybe now's a good time to sell one of these trains and buy a new one. And that way both these trains won't go very bad in terms of condition at the same time. So let's go to that line and manage vehicles. And I can see that train number 1 is 21 years old and train number 4 is 24 years old. I think train number 4 is the one we want to replace. So I'll click on train number 4 and I will sell that. And now that we've done that, I need to replenish the Colorado Food train line. So let's buy another train. So we click on the train depot and buy a vehicle. So what sorts of vehicles do we have available to us right now? In terms of cargo for wheat, we still have, for wheat, not wheat, for grain, we have the gondola, which still only has a maximum speed of 50 kilometers per hour. For food, we have the boxcar, also only a maximum speed of 50 kilometers per hour. So we want to match the speed of the locomotive to the speed of the cars or the wagons that it's pulling. So if I go to my steam engine options, the little old Baldwin, there's some new vehicles available. The little old Baldwin has a top speed of 40 kilometers per hour. The General, 45, and the Baldwin Class 56 has a top speed of 60. Now it's significantly more expensive than the Mogul. Than the General. That's a General, and that's a Baldwin. Okay, got it straight. So let's buy the General, because it has a top speed that's fairly close to the cars that it will be pulling. So I'll click on that, and then we go to cargo. And I'm going to go 8 gondolas and 4 boxcars. Oops, I can't afford that. So let's back it up. Let's go take one out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's take another one out. So if I go 6 and 3, maybe 6 and 4. Let's do 6 and 3. At a cost of $2.3 million. So you may wonder, why am I going with 6 gondolas with 3 boxcars? And the reason is it takes 2 grain to make 1 food. And each of these cars all have the same capacity. So to keep the food processing plant going, and to try to make sure my grain terminal or my cargo terminus station where the grain gets picked up doesn't get overloaded, I'm going to go at a ratio of 2 to 1. So that's my rationale. So let's buy that train and put it on the line. And here comes that brand new train. Now we're going to lose some money for a little while because we've just had a big outlay in cash. If I go to our account, you can see we've had a big outlay in investment, so we're showing a dip for the year of 1885. But that's okay, because eventually that train's going to make money for us. So it's now April of 1885. So I'm going to have to let the game run for a little while so I can make up some money, so I can either A, pay off my debt more, or B, grow my transportation network. So let's do that, and we'll come back in a little while, and we'll see how we're doing. So it's now July of 1886, and I'm sure you can guess what I'm about to do. And that is take a look at my bank account. It's about 1.4 million. So I think it's time to pay off some more loans. So I'm at 7.5 million in debt. Let's repay 500,000. Now we're down to 7 million. Let's just take a quick look to see how our bus lines are doing. I don't see any bus stops that are overloaded with passengers. So in Colorado Springs, I think our bus capacity is quite good. Over in Naperville, I'd say we have the same situation. I'd say our buses are doing quite well. Well, they're carriages, but I'll call them buses, are doing quite well in supplying passengers to our train line in Naperville. So you guessed it, in terms of approach, I'm going to again let the game run for a little while, and I'm going to see if I can pay down more of my loans. So it's now October of 1886. Let's let the game run for a while, and we'll come back and see how we're doing. So it's now June of 1887. And you guessed it, I'm going to go to my bank account. I got $1.5 million, and I'm going to repay $500,000. It's now August of 1887. My bank account is almost around $1 million. We are making money, so I think I'm going to just take that leap of faith and pay down another $500,000. If I repay $500,000, and I'm down to a $6 million debt. Now that was quite a hit to our bank account, so I am going to have to wait for a while to get my bank account up before I either do one of two things. Either A, pay off more money, or B, start building more assets. My approach may seem a little bit boring, but it only makes sense to me that we need to pay off our debt as quickly as we can so we can gain some financial momentum. And yes, it's a balancing act between paying off our debts and expanding our network. If we take a look at our one and only passenger train at this point, train number 5, and we go on manage vehicle, we can see the condition is bad. So we're getting close to the point where we're going to have to replace this train. So I think at this point, I'm going to have to let the game run for a while, but my objective next is not to pay off my debt, but probably replace this train. So it's either replace this train, or perhaps if I have enough money, I will expand this passenger line to another city. Anyway, we'll have to make that decision when we get there. For now, I got to make some more money. So it's now November of 1887. Let the game run for a while, and we'll come back and we'll make a decision as to what we're going to do. So it's now July of 1891. And I think it's about time I checked on the condition of my vehicles. Now I have paused the game because I don't want things to run away on me. I've got almost $4 million in my bank account, I'm making money, and I want to check the condition of my vehicles. So there's some bad, I got some bad, some very bad, some more bad, very bad, lots of bad. And I've got one train that's very bad, and it's actually a cargo train. And my passenger train is also bad. So there's a very bad train and a bad train. Which one should I replace? I mean, technically it should be the very bad one. But I'm thinking this one here. I guess the maintenance cost with a very bad train would be high, but I know this may be an intangible, but I'm thinking that people won't want to ride a very bad train, or a bad one. They're going to want to ride a nice, spiffy new one. Not that that matters in this game, but I guess that's my intuition. In any event, it's certainly time to replace some vehicles. So let's start with the train. I'm going to click on this train here. Going to go manage vehicle, and let's sell them. Now I've got a whopping $4 million and change in my bank account. Let's go to the train depot and buy another train. Click on buy vehicles and Steam. So I'll go back to the passenger wagon. That's the only passenger wagon I have available right now. The passenger car with a clear story with a top speed of 80 kilometers per hour. So I want a locomotive that's going to match that speed as much as possible. Go to my steam engines. The Baldwin is 60 and the Mogul is 75. So the 260 Mogul is the closest match I have. So I'll buy one of the Moguls and go back to my passenger wagons and buy 1, 2, 3 of those. Can I afford 4? I cannot. We'll buy the Mogul plus 3. We'll buy that and assign it to our line. And hit play. Look at that nice shiny new train. So hopefully the people will appreciate this new train, and maybe they'll ride it a little more. Although I can't say in this game that that's a factor, but you gotta admit, a nice shiny new train looks better than an old rusted one. Anyway, I've got a brand new train. Well, it's now May of 1892. I've got $1 million in my bank account, and despite what the earnings say down here, if I click on my account, you'll see that we're making money. We had a big investment in 1891. We bought a train. Anyway, we're back to making money. I'm just going to take one more look at our financial situation. And if I look down here, our loans are down to $6 million. Do you remember that old Aesop's fable about the tortoise and the hare? Well, it was the tortoise that won the race. In other words, slow and steady wins the race. And that's the approach I am sticking with. If you have any questions, feel free to note them below, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. So, where do we go from here? Well, the answer to that question lies in the next video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you haven't done so already, smash that subscribe button below right now and click on the bell so you don't miss out on more great content. Click on that box in the bottom left-hand corner right now to see a video you're almost guaranteed to love. This video was selected just for you by YouTube, and they know what you like. So what are you waiting for? Click on that box now, sit back, relax, and enjoy another video.